What up, pimps? Thomas here from S&B. Coming off a huge fucking face-ripping day, boys. Today was huge. Huge pushes everywhere, all around, all across the board. Buy signals going off everywhere. First and foremost, we're going to take a look at the NASDAQ QQQ. Let's start with the 30-minute. Alright, NASDAQ, perfect. Wow. Called this yesterday. If you guys watched yesterday, all my viewers out there, we had this intraday head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders that formed all day yesterday on the NASDAQ. And what did we get? We got our little shoulder right there, head right there, shoulder. Once we cleared the neckline, we blasted off and just sailed through the rest of the day. So this was a huge breakout for the NASDAQ. Very strong bounce off support there. So as you can see back here, back in January, late January, we bounced off this level. That's where we got our first little shoulder. We bounced off that level twice and had a strong bounce, and now same thing. We're bouncing off that level right there at 341. So key thing to watch here. Oh, and also notable, we reclaimed the hourly 50 moving average as well as the half hour 50 moving average. And now those lines have inverted. They are starting to go up. And that is big because our last screen day, they did not do that. It still was going down. We needed more oomph, more violence and momentum in the push, and we got that today. We fucking shredded faces today. So it's clear that, and now what I'm going to be watching for tomorrow is if we can hold that line at 342, below that 341. If those can hold, then I expect we see this gap filled, which we are right below the gap now. Gap fill, 347.82. After hours, Netflix did have terrible earnings, so being that one of the FANGs had horrendous earnings, that yanks down all the other FANGs, and all the FANGs are half of the NASDAQ. So we did dump a little bit after hours. We're slightly recovering right now. Yeah, we're only down 0.75% right now. We were down like a full percent. And the SPY has actually started recovering nicely. But yeah, I'm not really going to. I don't think that really means a whole lot. I'm not too worried about that. Um, but it's worth noting. We might open on a gap to the downside, which if we do open on a gap to the downside and we're still above 342, I am still super bullish. I'd see that gap gain filled immediately and more. But tomorrow, key thing is just to hope we get that gap fill, and we got to see. Let's look at the daily chart. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this whole pullback, one thing we haven't had, 2 green days in a row. I mean, yesterday technically, yeah, I mean like 2 big green days, 2 big face rippers. Yesterday was technically green, and it is huge actually that we got a big fat green dingus right after this doji on the daily. So the doji on the daily, what did it do? It tested that key level 341. And what happened today? As soon as we tested that level, broke it, it just shot right past it. So that is huge. That is shows us that there was uncertainty yesterday, but once we got to the top of yesterday, we sailed. So there was certainty that people wanted to buy, and not just buy, but buy and fucking hold. There was no big sell-off at all today for the first time, and it feels like months that there hasn't been a huge push that didn't get sold off at some point. I know it's only been a couple weeks, but yeah, so that was huge for the NASDAQ. At close, look at this. I love the 15-minute 200 EMA. So that was we rejected off of that intraday. That was the first little pullback we had. I was honestly waiting for a pullback to get in the calls, and there was no considerable pullback at all. So we pulled back, came back up, retested that white line, and what did we do? We smashed right through it, and then look at that wick. It wicked down perfectly and bounced off of that. Perfect. So that is very good support. I like that. That's at 345. So if we gap down hard tomorrow and we hold like 341, I'm still not worried. Gap down and we fall below 341, I will be officially worried. See what happens around 336 and if not 335 after that. But very big day for the NASDAQ. Very big day for everything. But I'm really focusing on that 50-day moving average on the 30-minute chart. The fact that it's inverted now is super mega bullish. Very, very bullish. But we do need the follow through. We gotta have the next big day tomorrow. It's gotta be the momentum. We gotta get the momentum going. Gotta kill the VIX. Take a look at VIX. So VIX here. I hate VIX. It ruins all the fun when it goes up. I'll turn my after hours on. So what do we get here? Look at that. VIX was getting destroyed all day. Just slowly melting down. I mean, it got yanked down early, but then slowly melted the rest of the day. So we got the bottom of VIX at $20.40. So we were so close to getting under 20. And I know once people see that under 20, it's just going to send the rest of the market. But Netflix earnings were so terrible that it spiked all the way back up to 21. So not great, but that's just after hours. I'm not too worried about after hours. Uh, yeah, but once we get VIX under 20, that will be huge, just like it was back in the last rally. Once it broke under 20, we just kept sailing, and that will officially give us our lower low and our lower high on the VIX, and it will be back in a downtrend. But moving on to the big guy, SPY. SPY also had a big old face ripper of a day, and this is the biggest daily gain in sheesh since the last big rally back in early March. So it fully engulfed all of these red candles over here, huge, and it just plowed today. It was fucking today. It was just nuts. There was no stopping there. And what happened? What happened? We open. Boom, open. What do? We take that big old level right there, 439, the level that we failed to hold. We rejected it twice yesterday. Rejected it hard twice yesterday. So we ripped through that, and once everyone saw we ripped through that level, it was just smooth sailing all the way. We get back up to the next level right here, key level 444.50. Reject off of that, come see where we can pull back, where we got support, and blasted right through it. So now I see support right there at 442.50. We are still above that after hours. It got yanked down to, look at that. Oh, what? Oh, I love technical analysis. Holy fuck. It's so beautiful. Let's take a look. Where did it go after hours? Oh no, we got a big red candle. Right down to support. That big red candle went right down to 442.50 and we've bounced off of it. Unbelievable. Beautiful. So we got support there for sure. 442.50. Tomorrow, same thing as NASDAQ. Watching to see if we gap up, gap down. SPY actually, this is big, even though it's only like 10 cents of price action, but we got above this wick over here. We rejected the gap multiple times. We actually just put the tip into the gap. Just the tip. We didn't get through the gap, so we gotta get the gap filled. I pray to God we don't gap up tomorrow. I do not want to double gap on this chart because I know that's going to be bearish as hell until it gets filled. But if that happens, it could be yank it down, fill the gap, and then we rip from there. So I'm watching tomorrow, see if we can hold 444.50, see if we can hold support down here. I'm back. I gotta start some music so my headset doesn't turn off. So just watching to see if we can hold 442.50. But if we fill the gap, that's huge. Gotta fill the gap. Gotta actually. And look, wow, this is just these market makers. They set this shit up so perfectly. Like, what are the odds of this? I'll tell you, the odds are next to nothing. Look at that. Oh, right where this is. I didn't even see this until now. So if we fill the gap, that's gonna put us right at this resistance line, this big red line we got over here, big red line. So we can fill the gap, and then we'll be right at resistance. So that gives us, it's going to be big. It's literally we're going to be right at resistance once we fill the gap. That's so crazy. And this isn't just any resistance. This is the resistance of this entire pullback we've had since the end of March. So fill the gap and then break through resistance at 446. So if we see like 447, 448 tomorrow, that is crazy. Not so bullish. After that, it's obviously psych level 450. That'll be the only gap on the SPY, but that will be absolutely huge if we can fill the gap tomorrow. If tomorrow chops sideways, I would expect we just chop sideways, maybe close around 442. Hopefully, just hold that support. If that support does not hold, we need support at 438 on SPY. But today was just an absolute nutso face ripper. I'll look at another time. So here we go. Boom, that's big. Look at this. That 15-minute, 200-day EMA, this white line. Look at that. Wow, it was resistance, resistance. Boom, broke through it. And then guess what it was? Oh, now it's support. So bam, that's huge, dude. Broke that 200 EMA, bounced off that, came retested it, resistance became support, and now we're looking good. So that 200 EMA, technical analysis. These computers set this shit up so perfectly. It's crazy. So yeah, that's just big support, that 15-minute 200 EMA. Same thing for the 30-minute simple moving average. That's a huge buy signal that we got today because we actually, see if I can get more days on here. So yeah, this has been support or resistance this entire pullback. This red line right here. We've broken it a couple times and just gotten nowhere after it. Got yanked back down. Tried to break it again. Yanked back down. Right here, just tapped it. Yanked down. Right here, broke through it. Tapped the level above. Yanked back down. Right here, tapped it. Yanked back down. So it's literally just been the like short here signal for the past 2 weeks, and you'll make a lot of money. The fact that we actually broke it today and very convincingly broke it is huge. So, and now that line has inverted, it is going towards the upside, so that leads me to believe we are gonna see more upside. Gotta see what tomorrow brings. We have earnings on Tesla after hours, so people are gonna be watching that. Um, yeah, just need some follow through. You can never get too bullish until the market gets bullish. So that's what I'll be looking at on the indices. So Facebook had a smooth as butter rip right through resistance. So that is huge on Facebook. Facebook has officially broken resistance on this downtrend. Very big. And as it broke that, we got the inverse head and shoulders intraday yesterday. So that set up exactly the same as the NASDAQ. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Once we got to the neckline, we ripped. And yeah, it didn't look back. We actually met this level up here, the next key level at 217.21, and we broke through it. We consolidated pretty hard on it, and oh, yep, there's that 30-minute 200 EMA right there too. So we broke through that. We got this big old red 30-minute candle on close, but it closed right at that level at 217. So we held that level. We rejected off that 200 EMA, but I like what it did a lot today. That was a beautiful setup. And look, the 15-minute 200 is so beautiful. And get more days. So the 200 EMA on the 15-minute chart was resistance for most of this pullback. It's come up and tapped this wick. It's wicked up to it multiple times this pullback. Oh, it's crazy. Just crazy. So, and then look what we did here. We broke it, got to that level, bounced off, wicked down, tapped it. So now resistance is support. Super bullish on Facebook right now. That's a crazy setup. It broke out of this channel, broke its overall resistance. Tomorrow to the upside, got to see 217 hold. Then after that, we do have a gap to the, no, we don't have a gap to the upside. After that, the next key level is 222 to break on Facebook, but it absolutely shredded today. It did die a little bit after hours because one of its fellow fangs had terrible earnings, but not too worried about that. What else? I bought me a call in Apple today, so I'm going to show you what I saw in Apple. If I can actually do it. Alright, so Apple, it doesn't look that great on that chart. Let's see. Apple, we got, what's that look like? A big old cup and a nice handle right there. That's what I saw on Apple. It's not the greatest cup and handle, but I mean, it looks pretty decent to me. We got the top of the cup right there, curled down the bottom of the cup, got to the top, got the handle right there, and it looks like the handle is just about to break out. And then, ironically, we got the same exact pattern intraday today. What did we do? Came up, and it hit resistance up here at 167.50, and we got this nice little cup and a nice little handle up here that we kind of ripped out of at the end of the day. So Apple's just one of those slow or reliable movers. Once it forms a pattern like this, it usually holds up, but it's one of the most traded liquid stocks. But yeah, that's a pretty big setup. It held 166.70. Don't think she has any gaps, or yeah, no gaps to the upside. But this is a nice break. We need to still break resistance. I mean, we got resistance like right here. We're basically right at it. So if we can break this red line right here, 168, I expect we go to 170 fairly easy. And then after that, big resistance at 171 for Apple. To the downside, if we cannot hold 166.75, I would look to see if 165 holds. And under that, 163 is the bottom of this pullback we've had. But I like the setup on Apple right now. It looks pretty good to me, in my opinion. Not much else to say about Apple. Mara. Mara is just one of those I really like right now because it is at its very long. This support that it formed back in early February. Actually, it started the support way back in January 24th. Hit support there at January 28th, February 24th, and now we hit it again at April 18th, a couple days ago. So this is very strong support over multiple months that we bounced off 4 times. Super high risk or super high reward to risk ratio, risk to reward. I can't talk. Low risk, high reward. I'm risking basically $1 drop here. If we can't hold this support at 1981, I would cut. But the upside on Mara, I mean, it was at $32 only 2 weeks ago. About, yeah, 3 weeks ago. So the upside is huge. I'm just swinging a month out call. We got to see next up, got to see 2275, and all this depends on if Bitcoin wants to cooperate or not. But right here, the hourly 50 moving average is right there. So if we break that at 2180, I expect we'll see a lot of upside very quickly. It depends on Bitcoin. Bitcoin just broke 41K today, and it's holding it up pretty good today. So everything looks like it's just ready to rip, honestly. Mara is just one of those, once it gets going, it really gets going. It does have a gap right at 25.38 up to 25.97, so not crazy, but just one of those super oversold names that has bounced off the support multiple times, and I like the setup. It's got resistance still up here, so 23-ish if we can break that resistance, but all depends on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin gets going, it'll get going, so look at Square. Square had a great setup today. Wow, look at this daily chart. This, oh, so beautiful. So back here, February 24th, we dropped all the way to 82. Next low, up here, we dropped all the way to, what is that, 100? Nah. No, 92. So right there, we formed our higher high, our higher low. And next up, what did Square do? We got another higher high, and then we bounced off that support from the support from drawing a trend line from this bottom over here, this higher low over here, that all the way extended to the right. Look at that. It wicks right down to it and just tapped it yesterday, but bounced hard off of it. We got that red candle. That's a super bullish reversal candle on Square. And then what do we do today? Just absolutely shredded. So that is super nice looking for Square. We bounce off that strong support. Next up, I see resistance. It's pretty far ahead, so we're kind of just in this triangle. We're going to have to break up about 130, so it's got a ways to go. But that movement from today was great. A very strong bounce on support is exactly what you want to see. Pretty high volume, too. Actually, really high volume today. So that was fantastic from Square. We also broke the hourly 200 EMA, which you love to see that. 15-minute 200 EMA. I think, yep, the 30-minute is resistance right now, so we got to break through that at 126.50. But a great setup on Square. It absolutely destroyed support. Just bounced hard off of support very nicely. So, well, it does have a little tiny gap to fill, 134 to 135, but yeah, I like Square to the upside right now. Really like it to the upside. It looks great. Guess I could take a look at a semiconductor, NVIDIA. So NVIDIA, what do we do today, NVIDIA? I have 18 different drawings on NVIDIA. So NVIDIA, we got a nice bounce off support. Not super strong and convincing. Semis are still kind of just lagging the rest of the market. Yesterday was outperforming the Nasdaq, then today didn't do anything. Something's just so weird. So I see that we did break the 50-day simple moving average on the 30-minute chart, or the hourly chart actually. So that's a good sign. It hasn't quite inverted to the upside yet, but that has been resistance. We haven't even touched it this entire pullback. So it's a sign that we're curling up on Nvidia. We did break out of a small resistance there on that channel, but there's still the big resistance like way up here, so it's still got a ways to go. But next up, I just have to see it break 229, and if we can break and hold that, it looks like it's ready to go back up. But semis have just been weird. I think once they get more earnings, they should be ready to roll. But yeah, semiconductors just have a way to go, and they haven't really recovered yet. So the semiconductor index right here is at resistance at 247. Got to break that, and then 250 after that. But yeah, tomorrow I'm super bullish. I think today was a crazy, convincing, face-ripping green day that was unlike half the green days we've had in the past couple weeks. So super bullish on that. Just have to see follow through, boys. We gotta push through. It cannot be a relief bounce for the hedges to keep shorting. If that's what it is, I'm gonna be very sad. It has to follow through. You'll know when it's a real thing. You'll see the rally and be like, oh yeah, that shit's legit. So we're almost there. If we get another face ripping day, I'm at that point. If tomorrow we chop around, that would suck. But I would honestly be happy with chop instead of a ass ripping red day. So that's worst case scenario. We get a look at the daily. Worst case scenario, we get a super big fat red dingus that fully engulfs this one and actually closes below it at like 336. That would be, I mean, it would have to get yanked down about 2% from where it's at right now, but that would be like a full 2.5% down from where it closed today. That would be terribly bearish, but we're not going to talk about that. I'm big bold now. So yeah, good luck tomorrow, fellas. Catch you tomorrow. Peace.